Well, as JP mentioned, there will be a big consumption stimulus that will probably take place as early as February or March next year. With that amount of stimulus, which amounts to around 3% of Thailand's nominal GDP, it is likely that the Thai economic growth or the GDP growth next year could reach 5%. But here again, it's a one-time stimulus, and we probably would see the impact next year. But then, after that, in the year after that, we probably would see, a slowdown in growth because of the one-time stimulus.
Kirida, this is interesting because when you think of the Thai economy, you think about exports, you think about tourism. Just how important is the consumer and consumer sentiment, domestic demand in Thailand when you look at the whole economic makeup? And is it as important as tourism and exports at the moment? Share with us what you're seeing.
Sure. Let me just give you some statistics on, the share of each of those components you ask in Thailand's economy or in Thailand's GDP. Private consumption or household consumption is definitely a very big component. It's around half of our GDP, while exports of goods is around another 55%, and tourism, especially international tourism, is around 12% of our GDP. So yes, the domestic consumption portion is a very big, portion of our economy. But of course, exports and tourism together also make up a very big share of our economy as well.
Right. So, Kirida, as you mentioned a while ago, this seems to be a one-time booster actually for the Thai economy that could fade after they enact the 10,000 baht digital wallet and introduce some of these lower energy prices and other policies. But the question is, how can you sustain growth in Thailand? We've talked about the middle income trap that Thailand seems to be in an effort to try and bolster economic growth levels that are actually closer to developed nations at this moment. Is the policy perhaps aimless, as the opposition says? Are they actually bereft of ideas? And do you think more can actually be done other than just handing out 10,000 baht to each Thai person above the age of 16?
You're right, JP. Handing out, a one-time cash handout would have a short-term effect, especially in that particular year. But of course, the risks that come along with that is also inflation. It's also the higher policy rates that could come about if inflation picks up. So, a one-time consumption stimulus will have both positive and also risk in the short term. In the longer term, as you mentioned, if Thailand were to get out the middle income trap, there are many other things that would need to be done. And actually, in the policy statement that the government mentioned yesterday, there are actually some of the more long-term issues that will be, focused on, such as the promotion of more border trade or free trade agreements or investments in the Eastern Economic Corridor. New businesses will be promoted, such as the green and digital businesses, including regulatory streamlining, more open immigration of professionals, and also more market-based agricultural production. So these are all good things that were mentioned.